welcome to December. It's officially the holiday season. Yay! So I'm here this month. I thought we would do a holiday survival guide for each week of December. So today, I want to talk a little bit about families. I have a quote on one of my walls that says, remember, as far as anyone knows, we're a completely normal family. And we are completely normal because we have our ups and downs and our fights and our wonderful times. It's completely normal for that to happen. So first of all, you're completely normal. Some of us have a few more challenges than others with family. And if that's you, then you'll want to stay tuned for some of today's tips to help you get through that. I think when it comes to family, you can pretty much be guaranteed that someone's going to ask you about, the job or the weight that you haven't lost or have lost or that boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever that is. Just families know how to push our triggers, right? They just know. And so today I want to give you some tips for how to, feel stress-free from no drama in the family holidays. But first, before we talk about that, I just want to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nancy Brooker. I am a relationship and stress coach. I help women who are stuck in a challenging relationship, whether it's with a spouse, a child, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, coworker, and of course that relationship with ourselves. Just to bring more clarity, where are the triggers coming from? How did they originate? What can we do about them? Bringing more clarity, more connection, more ease, more calm into our relationships so that we can experience them with more joy. And just, have more fun in our lives. So, back to why we're here in the first place, our family survival guide. So I have 3 initials for you that I want you to remember. STP. When I was a kid, that stood for sticky toilet paper, but today it has a different meaning. So let's start with the S. So first of all, remember self-care. It probably sounds like you hear it over and over and over again. You're bombarded with these words all the time, and they might seem like old news, but they are always relevant. And the more you take care of yourself, the better you're going to show up for other people. The more confident you're going to be, the more centered and grounded in your body you will be. So, self-care can be everything from going out and getting some fresh air to, getting enough sleep is super important. Visiting with your friends, doing something that makes you feel good, whatever that might be. And if there's something in particular that triggers you about, maybe there's a specific person in your family that triggers you, think about that person too and what sort of things might come up, and plan ahead and think about how you're going to respond to these things and how you're going to maintain your composure and what you're going to say and how you're going to say it with kindness and just sort of to get yourself out of the situation and not be stuck in that old pattern of escalation if that was your pattern. So S, self-care. Another S, set boundaries. November was boundary month, so if you have any questions about where to set the boundaries, where to start, how to even start with that, go back and look at some of those videos from November. There were some really great tips in there. Think about the different families have different areas where they tend to cross boundaries, but I think a lot of times it's just that, family, we don't maybe have as many filters as we should. I don't know what the situation is, but so families will tend to cross boundaries of, relationships where maybe you don't want to be talking about your relationships, but they pry. Or, with your kids, that's another big area where boundaries get crossed, where you have certain ways of doing things with your kids, and those rules all go out the window once family's there. Maybe that's an area that's a trigger for you. So whatever that is, think about it ahead of time and how are you going to respond to that. So self-care and set boundaries, those are the S's. So T, what would the T be about? Well, there are different topics, I think, that should totally be off limits at family gatherings. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk politics and not get into a big argument because there are differing views about that. And sure, that conversation has its place and its time, but it's probably not at a family gathering, because it's something that is controversial and will escalate things. And so just keep those topics off the table. Don't even go there. There might be other topics, like we talked about earlier, that specific to you might be off limits for you, maybe your relationships or whatever that is. Let people know what those are. And, we talked about setting boundaries. Like, people don't know if those topics are off limits unless you tell them. So you need to tell them what are your boundaries and, what topics are off limits, that sort of thing. The other T is for tap. Now, I know I've talked before about emotional freedom techniques or EFT tapping. Now, if you've ever done some tapping, you'll know that it looks kind of funny because we tap on these points, these acupressure points that are close to the surface of the body, but a lot of them are on the face, right? But the good news is, and this is a lot of great research. Not only, I know it works because I've used it, but there's a lot of great research showing that it does work and what sort of what it's doing in your body. So there's really discrete tapping points that you can use. You can, under the table, you can squeeze the base of your nail beds. There's some great acupressure points at the base of your nail beds. And for an added bonus, it stimulates your cuticle growth if that's important to you, but it calms you down. There's a great point right here between your ring finger and your pinky finger. Just find the groove there and tap there. You can do that under the table and nobody's going to know that you're doing it. You don't know that I'm doing it right now, except I told you. There's some points on your inside and outside of your wrists as well that you can use that are really helpful for calming the stress. So don't forget to tap. So there's your T. What topics are you going to talk about? And don't forget to tap. And for the P, we have the sticky, we have the toilet, now we have the paper. So the first P is to stay positive. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you come into it with a positive, grateful, fun attitude, then you'll probably get through it a lot easier than going into it, begrudgingly and, already tensed up and worried about what's going to happen. So stay positive. And, you might even just play a little game with yourself before you leave. If there's someone in particular who's really triggering for you, maybe your Aunt Bertie is always asking about your weight, or, seems to be the big topics, right? Weight and, relationships, the new boyfriend or whatever. Always giving you her opinion on it. Well, think about what's good about Aunt Bertie. Like, if nothing else, she says what's on her mind, and sometimes that's a good thing. But maybe she's really kind to someone else in the family, the grandkids, or the grandnieces and nephews or something. Maybe she volunteers. Maybe there's something else very good about her, and try and focus on that positive thing. And as we talked about earlier, think about what topics are going to come up and practice how you're going to respond to them, not react. Because when we react, things usually go badly. P. Sorry, back to the P. So stay positive, be present. Now, with families, we have so much history, and there are a lot of things in the past that we could drudge up that would make the gathering, less than ideal, not as fun, lots of, the last thing you want to do is be drudging up the past, because the past is the past, and we can't change it. All we can deal with is what's happening today. So stay present in that present moment. That tapping, if you do the tapping, that will help ground you and bring you into that present moment, so you can be clear and calm and open, and just approach everything with that present moment with gratitude and kindness, and you will be okay. So there you have it, STP, self-care. That's the first S. Set boundaries is the second S. T, what topics are you going to talk about? Make sure you tap. And P for stay positive and stay in the present moment, STP. Remember those three initials, and that will help you get through the holidays. So if you need some extra extra help getting through these holidays, I'm here to talk anytime. Let's connect. And I'd love for you to join me on my Facebook page, Living in Yes, or connect with me for a clarity call. I offer a no charge clarity call where we can talk about what's going on with you and how we might be able to work together, where you're getting stuck, how we might be able to move through some of those things. So that's it for me for today. I hope you learned something from this, and thanks for listening, and I will talk to you again soon. And don't forget to grab your freebies. I'll list all your freebies down below. Okay, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.